Hi, my name is Maeve Collins.
And my name is Jordan Schneider, and today we are going to be talking about climate change and the effects it has on the Pacific Northwest. As you can see, looking at our presentation in the top left corner, we have laid out a map of the Puget Sound region. And looking at this map, you can see that the Puget Sound is a very widespread region, meaning that the effects of climate change are going to be very dramatic.
First, we're going to talk about the direct and indirect causes of climate change. Climate change refers to the long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. Although some of these changes may be natural, human activities have been the main driver of climate change since the 1800s. Some of these human activities include the use of fossil fuels and the emissions of greenhouse gases into our atmosphere, the act of deforestation and cutting down acres upon acres of land in some of the world's biggest rainforests, and increasing livestock farming leads to higher release of methane into the atmosphere, causing atmospheric temperatures to rise.
The next topic we are going to be discussing is the economic standpoint of climate change and its effect on the seafood industries. Due to the extensive loss of wildlife in our oceans, it has made it harder for companies to meet the demand of the public. As a result, the cost of these different seafood products are going to rise more for the consumer due to the increase in difficulty to obtain the product. Seafood industries in the Seattle area are also at risk of losing their businesses due to how difficult it is to obtain the seafood products. As a result, in order for companies to stay alive that are dependent on seafood products, they are going to have to increase their prices to maximize their profits.
Next, we're going to talk about the impacts that climate change has had on the environment in the Puget Sound, specifically the southern resident orcas. As ocean temperatures rise and the ocean gets more acidic, more animals in the Puget Sound are getting endangered and that possibly going extinct. Due to climate change, ocean temperatures are rising, resulting in a large decrease of Chinook salmon on the West Coast. In a recent study that NOAA scientists conducted, they found that Chinook salmon will go extinct in the next century, predicted to be 2080. Chinook salmon are the main food source for many animals in the Puget Sound, specifically southern resident orcas. Once the Chinook salmon go extinct, southern resident orcas will be forced to migrate north or die off due to starvation. Once they migrate north, they will have to compete with the northern resident orcas for food and cause both populations to die off and decrease in population. This pattern will continue until all four resident groups go extinct.
The next topic we're going to be looking at is the social impact we as a human race have on climate change. One of the first questions that came to mind when doing this project is who should be at blame for most of the ongoing issues of climate change. And to answer that question, it is simply more the richer countries like the United States, Japan, China, Canada, and many others that should be held responsible for the issue of climate change. Over the past 50 years, these richer countries have become responsible for 50% of all of the planet warming greenhouse gases being released from fossil fuels and industries over the past 170 years.
Lastly, we'd like to talk about the solutions that we could take to reverse the effects of climate change. Some of the most common solutions to slow climate change and as a result slow ocean pollution include things like reducing the use of fossil fuels emissions, reducing the use of single-use plastics, and properly disposing of your waste. However, to see the change needed to save our planet and oceans, we're all going to have to make these changes as a unified community. It only takes a slight change in our day-to-day lives, but overall, we could all help save the planet.
Thank you.
Thank you.